everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Skeleton Crew. I'm your host, Jen Callahan. And tonight I have a guest joining me from Canada. His name is Jonathan Vaca, and he is an account executive at Convergent Imaging Solutions. Jonathan, thanks for taking the time to be with me tonight.
No, thank you, Jen, for having me. Appreciate it so much.
First, I want to kind of break into what exactly is the company that you work for? What does Convergent Imaging Solutions do?
Sure. So like you said, I'm an account executive at Convergent Imaging Solutions. We're based in Ottawa, out of Canada, Ontario. And what we do, we specialize in, we develop and provide PET CT, SPECT CT, PET MRI, and nuclear medicine workstation software. So the software that the techs use to analyze, distribute, store images in their departments, basically. And we do that, in Canada, the US, of course, and as well as Australia and New Zealand. I'm mainly in Canada and the US is where I'm focused on, but we do some stuff overseas as well. And I don't have a background in the medical field, in radiology or any sort of medicine. I specialize in, like I said, business, sales, business development, and that is what I do here at Convergent.
So does that make that difficult for you at all, that with not having some type of medical or allied health background with selling this?
Sure. Yeah, I guess at the beginning, it wasn't as easy. It was kind of, a little bit of a learning curve, just kind of learning about the software, what it does, broad strokes, kind of getting a gist for the terminology, of course, a lot of big words in this field and a lot of technical stuff, that I didn't go to school for. But as long as I have the general gist of it and doing it every day and talking to radiologists and the different people in these hospitals, I've learned a lot and absorbed a lot in the conversations I'm having and the people that I'm dealing with on a daily basis. But yeah, I haven't found it to be a hindrance at all. I'm a quick learner. And again, it's all about just painting the product in a good light and offering some value. Can I provide value in that conversation I'm having? Do you see value? Yes, no. That's really what I'm trying to tell them. Yeah.
Yeah. I would assume that a company like that is making sure that you have a huge understanding of what is going on behind the scenes in terms of getting you to the understanding of what PET, and then you said PET MRI and PET CT. That's great. So definitely probably enlightening for you, lots of new stuff that you had learned joining the company.
Well, absolutely. It's been a wealth of knowledge that I had, no idea, or even just looking back, it's not something I would have ever thought I'd be doing, really, when I get into sales and business development. Who knows what I was getting into, but the medical field wasn't one of them. Wasn't something I thought looking forward, but it's pretty awesome that I get to be a part of that, even in a specific niche event. But yeah, I also have great leadership. Again, like you said, definitely they have filled me with knowledge to be able to have these conversations, and I had good leadership. They didn't just throw me to the wolves and just talking to very important, smart people without teaching me some stuff first. So yeah, I had some good role models as well. Show me the ropes. Yeah.
All right. So you have a model right now that's out there software-wise called UniSyn Image Fusion. Am I correct?
Yeah. So that's the name of our software. Yeah, UniSyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Could you give us like a base of what that does, what the benefits would be for a department?
Absolutely. So yeah, really any radiology department, and then specifically nuclear medicine department. Some of our best clients are people that, for example, a lot of techs, when they're doing their work, they are hindered to these workstations. They have to do all their work at workstations. And so UniSyn is a thin client product, which means that it allows for remote capabilities in multiple ways. Number one, our product, we don't have to install something physical in these departments. Everything can really be done plug and play, connect to their servers, and we can pretty much do everything remotely. We don't have to install computers or servers or anything physical, really. Everything is remote. And then as well, one of the main features is that the techs themselves, they can open up their laptops at home, anywhere really outside of the hospital, and then they can take a quick look at their images. If they need to send images, they can do that from anywhere. So they can, read images, send images, pretty much they can access their software and their workstation remotely anywhere. And so that's huge. Not saying that a lot of hospitals have that capability, but a lot of them actually don't. A lot of them have the same workstation that they've had for 20, 25 years. And a lot of people like using that, but then new people are coming in and say, we don't want to use this thing that's been around for 20, 25 years. And that's where we come in. We can offer some remote capabilities. That's one. Our product's also highly customizable to the techs themselves. So the techs that are using it, they can really get personal, kind of customize the settings. Techs are different. Some like to view things this way. I like different colors. even as rudimentary as that, colors and things like that. And they can really get customized, make it personal to them. We have good feedback on that. They have a little sense of personality, even in that sense. Yeah.
So would you say, is this workstation software, is it geared more towards technologists or is it geared more towards radiologists or for both?
Yeah, so it really is at the end of the day, the techs that are using it. So the people boots on the ground, even the directors, when I'm speaking to the directors, the decision makers, right? Sometimes they might be, in a corporate office, or they might be someone that just manages a department. They might not have been actually doing the work for the last 10 years. They have advanced to a higher title. And so, yeah, even when I want to book demos, they say, oh, I want to get some of my techs in and to, see the software, and because they're the ones that are going to be using it. And so I want them to check it out and see if it's something that they like as well, right? So really it is the people boots on the ground that are going to be using the software that are really going to, even as much as the director likes or doesn't like it, they're going to be the ones that are saying, yeah, we want this software or we don't want the software.
So is it kind of like the PAC system? Is that along the same lines when you're talking about workstations?
Totally. So the PACS department, they'd be the ones that would handle all the internal, infrastructure, IT stuff. So our software would plug into a PACS, a modality into a PACS. And yeah, it would plug into their current PACS system, what they're using, and it would integrate right into that. And that's why any system that a hospital or an imaging center is already using, we can pretty much plug and play into their PACS and work remotely from there. Yeah, absolutely. I'm dealing with, a lot of time, it depends hospital to hospital. I'm dealing with, like I said, the director of radiology. And sometimes I'm doing a demo, it might be the director of radiology and director of nuclear medicine and the head of the PACS team all in one. And some of the techs kind of all in a room together or on Zoom together and taking a look at the software, because it's kind of sometimes it's one person, sometimes it's 6, 7 people, a group decision. It really depends on the hospital and how they do things. But yeah, so PACS would definitely be involved a lot of the times too. Yeah, for sure.
But UniSyn kind of specifically is geared towards nuke med.
Yeah, I would say our specialty is probably nuke med, or some of our best features really stand out in nuclear med. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So would you do the PACS portion of it for nuclear medicine and like all the other modalities of radiology, say pretty much in Canada?
Yeah, I mean, we can go all the way, break it down to even X-ray, simple MRI, something like that. Yeah, our product would definitely be able to handle that for sure. All the way from MRI, all the way up to nuclear med, we complete processing, yeah, storage, sending.
So what is it about the software that basically benefits nuclear medicine so much and the imaging portion of it?
So the remote capabilities, like I said, that, again, it's great to be remote and it's awesome. It makes the lives of the techs easier. But at the end of the day, what we're going for is efficiency and just the workplace environment. And the techs, because they can quickly open up their laptop and do something, that instead of having to go to the hospital or wait till the next day or till the next shift or calling someone there, they can just simply do it there, send it somewhere and close their laptop and get on with what they're doing. Efficiency, we've seen efficiency kind of, as one of the main feedbacks. Techs, they're happier, a little bit, making things a little bit more seamless, I guess. They don't have to be at a certain place to be doing the work. So that just creates a better environment for them. They're a little bit happier themselves and they're a little more free to kind of be away from their workstation. I would say our software as well, because we're remote, we can do updates remotely at any time. Our software is not a set it and forget it. A lot of these softwares, it comes with the equipment, or there's someone might install it, and then you're not getting updates. It kind of gets outdated after a few years. Ours is kind of ever evolving. Our software development team is on 24/7 if there's any issues. And also we take feedback from the techs themselves. If they have any complaints or they're saying, oh, I wish we could do that. I'm not saying we're going to be able to add every single thing or take in every complaint, but we can really try and to kind of take in their feedback and improve the software and gear it towards what we're hearing from the techs themselves, because they're, like I said, they're the most important part of this, right? The people using it. That's one of my favorite things about it. We kind of give them that autonomy to make some changes or even just give some feedback that they might actually see in the field in the future. Yeah.
So you were saying how it's kind of used more or like kind of geared specifically towards nuclear medicine, and you had mentioned PET MRI and PET CT. What is it specifically about the functionality of it kind of is best for those types of modalities?
I would say like image fusion. That's huge for us, image fusion. Let's say an image that was taken 5 years ago, we can pull it up from the PACS system with our software, and then we can take a current image, for example, complete image fusion, overlaying images, complete, very sensitive opacity, different color schemes. If you're looking at, radiology images, you'll know what I'm talking about in terms of overlaying images, kind of comparison of your CT to your PET scan to your MRI. You can do complete image overlay, as many as you want. It's really cool. And that's kind of some of the cutting edge stuff that we've done. I talk to these directors and they're like, wow, that's stuff that maybe our software doesn't have. Things like image fusion, complete comparison, and even new things. Like I said, we're ever evolving. We're trying to keep up. We want to lead the industry. So we have things like AI, auto segmentation. I know we just had the RSNA conference, the Radiology Society of North America conference. Some of my coworkers were there demonstrating our product. And They have a lot of presentations. AI is of course huge and everything everywhere.
Yes, everywhere.
We have not escaped that in nuclear medicine and radiology either. That's coming. So we are always implementing things like that are brand new and that are evolving right before us. And like I said, we definitely don't want to fall behind. We don't want to just keep up. We want to really stay ahead of the game. So that's why we are always adding new things. And in nuclear med, it's everything. I mean, we have the thyroid, SUV uptake. I mean, like I said, not to get too technical, but it really is a complete product. And like I said, nuclear medicines are bread and butter. That's where we can come in, whether you're a new department that's just starting a nuclear medicine division or an old department looking to replace things. We can really kind of, like I said, plug and play. It's pretty seamless. It's not a huge overhaul undertaking at the hospital that they have to do. We really just kind of connect to the server remotely and get things going, and they can set up as they wish. It's very customizable too. They love that, and they can set it up to their department, to what they're, how they want to do things. Because like I said, it's very, very different dealing with people in different hospitals and the way they do things, even in the same departments, right? So the customizability and the flexibility that our software offers them, they really love it.
This episode is brought to you by xraytechnicianschools.com. If you're considering a career in X-ray, visit xraytechnicianschools.com to explore schools and to get honest information on career paths, salaries, and degree options.
What kind of feedback do you receive? Good feedback? Any challenges that you've gotten from them in terms of it? And then maybe are you taking this feedback, good or bad, obviously, and reporting it?
Of course. So a success story I love to share is, we're over at Lenox Hill in New York. It's like a popular name, Lenox Hill, the show and everything. So when I say, oh yeah, we have our software in Lenox Hill, people are like, oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a big, huge hospital and has a very popular name. So that's pretty cool. And again, what they've told us, their efficiency, having images being able to be analyzed, sent, received remotely, just increasing, turnaround time for patients, getting their images done, getting results back, having them seen by someone that needs to see it. And as well as, the text, the overall tech, just enjoyment of their workplace. They don't have to be stuck in the hospital, stay late. We need to check out these images at 6. Stay late. No, you can go home, log into the virtual workstation and do it at home or do wherever you need to do it. So that's kind of what we're seeing, just kind of streamlining the process a little bit, taking away some of the bumps and just make it a little smoother for the techs there when managing in the department, because it allows for just a little bit more of a seamless workflow for people. And that's great. And I love it. I love helping them and getting the feedback from them when they say I made the job a little easier, and that's awesome. That's what we love to hear. I would say in terms of negative feedback, maybe sometimes it's not a good fit. They're like, this product does a little bit too much for we don't need this much stuff. We only do 10 nuclear medicine evaluations in a month. This is a little too much. We're kind of good with our software. It does what we need. That's great. We don't want, if you don't need it, that's fine. But we ran into that. Some smaller hospitals that have nuclear medicine is something that they don't do as much on a daily basis.
We were talking earlier before we started recording, and Jonathan was telling me that when they go out to, I guess, potential new clients, he said that it is a possibility for them to road test software, see if it's a good fit for them. So you want to touch upon a little bit about that?
Totally. So usually when people want to test things out, it's usually a bigger facility. A lot of times what I'm seeing more and more too, I'm not just dealing with one facility. I'm dealing with a health network, a network that may run 7, 10, 20 hospitals, huge corporate conglomerates that, manage and supply to many hospitals, right? Or in Canada, for example, provincial stuff, Alberta Health Services. Instead of a specific hospital, I'm dealing with the provincial health system, health network, right? Someone like that they're going to be providing our software to, let's say, 20 different sites, right? They might want to do a little bit of testing, make sure everything's running smooth. Can you handle the 20 sites? Set up the infrastructure they're called virtual clusters, where the setup where the packs of everything will go from all the sites into one, right? And just setting that up is going to be a little bit longer than if it's just one hospital. And like I said, we don't want to set this all up and then they buy everything and figure out it's not a good fit. No, we'd rather figure out if it's a good fit at the beginning, get it going, and then they can become, we can become long-term business partners instead of, doing all of that and all of a sudden it's not a good fit and kind of wasting both of our time. We'd rather figure that out at the beginning. They can test it out, it doesn't really cost anything for them to test it out. It kind of weeds out all the problems at the beginning, if it's going to be a good fit or not. Yeah.
Yeah. So it obviously aids in good workflow, like you were saying. How would you say that this type of workstation improves patient care?
So, as I mentioned before, turnaround time, really when you're going in to get your image, that time to really what's holding up when you get your image done and the time it takes for you to get your results back. Is someone needs to, of course, see the images and then send it back to maybe your general practitioner, your doctor, your family doctor, or something like that. And so that turnaround time really is how quickly are one of these techs and doctors going to see that, those images and be able to do their image fusion with our software and do all of their scanning and their image overlays and all that, and then get that back to the patient. So really, if our techs and our doctors are able to kind of send each other things seamlessly, open up and do analysis on the go and quickly review it, send it over, we're good to go, instead of having to wait, like I said, a whole nother business day or till their next shift or asking someone else at the hospital to do it. Yeah, really patient, and then overall just increases patient satisfaction, workflow in the hospital in general, people coming in and out, waiting, phone lines, again, just patient turnaround time. The techs, they're happy, makes things easier for them. The patients, they're happy, they're getting great image quality service. We hope our software is doing a little better than the old software in image quality, not just speed and efficiency, but of course, the image quality, and being able to catch these things that we're looking for as efficiently and as accurately as possible. But yeah, really, again, just patients getting their results back quicker that's huge. We love to hear that from the departments. Yeah.
Talking about the image fusion, I'm sure it's extremely helpful for the radiologists, that you say that it kind of overlays a previous image on the current instead of a radiologist having to sit there and be looking back and forth from two different images to say if it's a follow-up scan, having to look at two separate images. Now it's just right on top of each other. So I'm sure it aids the radiologist in having to toggle back and forth between something. I feel like can be a little mentally exhausting.
Like you said, even 6 months, 6 years, you can overlay an image that's stored in that PAC system. Years and years, it can be someone's images from a long time ago and a completely different type of image. You can have your CT, your MRI, and you can not even the same image, and you can overlay those, move different markers to see what we're looking for. And that's really the basis of our software, image fusion, image overlay. That's really our bread and butter. And that's what these departments like to see. Yeah.
Are there any other software that Convergent offers, or is that kind of the main standpoint at this point, the UniSyn?
So we do have a couple other integrations that are available that people actually might be familiar with. The first one is the Cedars-Sinai Cardiac Suite. That was dealing with, of course, cardiology, full cardiac suite, a whole separate sort of system dedicated to cardiology and what they might need. And then we also have the CinterMed NeuroQ. So that one's all geared towards neurology. Whole other plugin that works seamlessly integrated to our software. So Cedars-Sinai and CinterMed, cardiac and neurology, they also can be added right onto our software and work seamlessly. And yeah, those are great. Those are just a third-party integrations that allow for just a little extra. If you have a department that focuses a lot on cardiology department specifically in radiology, you might want to get the Cedars-Sinai suite because that provides a whole separate set of customizations and different modalities for them specifically. So we have those two that are available, and actually those get great feedback.
So you guys have a slew of good things going on over there in Convergent. Is there anything on the future that you might possibly be able to share with the public?
Yeah, we're always trying to say not just maintain and compete. We want to be leading the industry and staying on top of the competition. So yeah, I would say the main things would be, of course, AI integration, AI-based auto segmentation. That's kind of one thing they're focusing on.
What's auto segmentation?
So just some of these little things that are repetitive for text, kind of just to be done automatically instead of having to click certain buttons, slide, move things over, just complete, or not complete, but a little bit more control just based on the software, doing things that are a little bit redundant or repetitive that are built into the software so that they don't have to do it themselves. And then we also have dosimetry. And so yeah, those are the two things really. And again, we're always adding feedback. We're always taking feedback from our clients, our current customers. What are they seeing? Is something that they want maybe to be tweaked a little bit. Maybe they have an idea and they want to share with us. And not saying that we're going to be able to implement everything, but we want feedback because, like I said, we are not a set it and forget it software. We're ever evolving. And the most important feedback is feedback from the techs because they're the ones using it. So we feel that empowers them too. They feel a little bit like they have a little more control, a little bit more autonomy, and being able to give feedback, right? That will actually make it to us. And we hope to make changes to everything, that all the feedback we get, but we try our best.
So are these software updates then, or is it something almost like something that happens automatically, almost like, say, like an iPhone? Like you get a notification like new update is available. Update your
Yeah.
software. Is it something along the same lines, or is that too simple?
No, I mean, it's not. It's just kind of quite that simple. We would probably let them know, wouldn't really pop up on the system, but we would just let them know, hey, there's some new stuff that we've added, we've been working on, maybe some of the feedback you guys gave us or some other hospital gave us that we want to add. And we just want to do a quick system update, and it wouldn't take too long. And yeah, it'll be remote. Again, they wouldn't have to do anything.
Is that what you would consider like a downtime?
If the timeline lines up with one that they already have lined up, like a downtime, then yeah, it'd be much easier for us to do it during the downtime. It also depends on the size of the hospital or the network that we're doing it on. If it's just one department in one hospital, it won't take too long. You wouldn't be noticeable, the downtime, really. Like, I don't think we would need to. But if it's going to be at a facility that's, managing 20 sites and we're updating to, it would definitely probably be good to put it during that downtime. And yeah, it'll take a little bit longer, right? The facility size does definitely matter. Even just orchestrating all at the same time. Yeah, definitely during those downtimes just makes it easier, especially if we can just line it up during those times, for sure.
All right. Well, great information going on there. Anybody who's listening here in the market for software for nuclear medicine, obviously reach out to Convergent Imaging Solutions. Jonathan, I feel like you sold me on it. So if I had nuclear medicine in my house, I'd have you guys come to my workstation.
Perfect. I would love that. And yeah, anyone in sales, just being in the medical field is awesome. It's not easy. It's not the easiest sales job you'll have, but it's pretty rewarding. The people I'm talking to are really pretty cool, and they're doing pretty cool stuff. And it's pretty rewarding. Like, I get to be part of this cool thing. I'm not doing any of the work myself, the nurses, the techs, and they're doing the awesome helping, but it's cool that I get to be a part of the process in some way, at least.
Well, this is Jonathan Vaca joining me from account executive, joining me from Convergent Imaging Solutions. I want to thank everybody being with us this evening. Make sure you check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Check out future episodes and then past episodes. There's lots of good ones from the past. And I can't wait to listen in on ours, Johnson. So
yeah, thank you for having me, Jen. Thank you for having me. Check out our website and yeah, listen to all the episodes of the show for sure.
Thanks, Jonathan. All right, guys, we'll see you later. You've been watching The Skeleton Crew, brought to you by xraytechnicianschools.com. On the next episode, join us to explore the present and the future of the rad tech career in the field of radiology.